Photographers Chronicles episode.
Let's create.
What's up, y'all? First of all, I know before you all give me a hell, it's taking a while for me to get this episode out. I apologize. One thing I realized in my OG status is that the older I get, the longer it takes for me to recover from trips, not only in resting, but also just getting life back to normal. So I apologize for that, but here we go. So in this episode, we're finally going to talk about New York Fashion Week and my experience with that. Just to give y'all a little bit of a background on it, I was very intimidated to go to New York Fashion Week. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but it was just, I was scared, I'll be honest with you. It just seemed like a lot, seemed like the pinnacle of what you want to do if you're into the fashion industry. And so basically I had to muster up the courage to do it. I also didn't want to be in a situation to where I just basically bought my ticket and just went up there and hope for the best. I wanted to be in a situation where I was actually invited and not just showing up. I don't know, it's just different for me. I like to have a place that I'm actually going and not just like going and just freestyling, especially when I'm going out of state. So anyway, it actually happened and I was invited and yeah, I went and checked it out. Now, I won't really go into the details of who actually invited and who I was shooting, what company I ended up shooting with, just because I don't want to get into any kind of trouble or represent any of that mess. So I'm not going to do that. However, I will share with you some of my experience. So I actually got to shoot with two different organizations, and the experiences were very, very, very different. The first one I actually got invited to. The second one I actually signed up for, and they invited me once they looked over my stuff. So the first one was a dope experience. One thing I will say about it is the venue was on point. Lighting was on point. Like the music, DJ, it was just a bigger than life situation. You couldn't miss from any angle that you were shooting from. Like it was definitely like, I definitely enjoyed that experience from a creative point of view. So I was actually slated to shoot 3 different times for this particular organization. I ended up only shooting twice. And the reason why is because you literally had to wait outside for about 3 to 4 hours to get in. There wasn't like organization as far as getting photographers in at certain slots and getting the prior photographers out from the earlier slots. So basically you just had a big cluster of people that really weren't moving in or out, right? The other thing is, oh my God, jockeying for position. Now, I'm used to having like a pit for photographers, but this particular place seems like you had just as many photographers as you did like guests. And it was just so crowded. Like I barely had room to take off my coat, like seriously. However, once I got set up, I was still able to get some good shots. It also helped that the crowd thinned out as the night went on. Like people, the area thinned out, so you have more space. Now, the second place that I shot, now it wasn't as like big and bright, but however, the location, the natural location was a dope location. It was way more organized. Like there wasn't as many photographers, and the number of photographers they picked, it basically matched the area that you're going to be shooting at, the pit pretty much. And I had plenty of room, plenty of space to move around. I will say the lighting wasn't as good though. But you still, to me, if you're doing photography, you just learn how to adjust and you make it happen no matter where you're shooting at. So that was the only thing that I would say that was different. That was a con, but it really wasn't. This place was very organized. I would definitely shoot with this organization again because, like I said, I even though I do this, and I know a lot of times there's a lot of chaos, and you just know there's going to be chaos in certain events that you do, especially when you're dealing with the fashion industry. However, I just need a concerted effort to try to make things as easy as possible. Some fixes are just very easy, and I feel like sometimes people can take the lazy way out. Simple as that. Now, mind you, this is my first time going to New York Fashion Week, so please do not take me as an expert. I can only tell you my points of views when it comes to this. My goal this time was actually just to shoot runway. I really wanted to just get into these different areas and get a feel for what that feels like. I also this is my first trip, so I wanted to get a good feel of how it feels to actually shoot these events, and also just moving around, getting to the different areas that you need to get to in order to get to these events. Also, this was my first time going to New York City. So I had to get to a point to where I wanted to feel comfortable moving around the city, just to get a feel for it and stuff. I definitely would go back. This time I probably would be more outgoing because, like I said, this is the first time me visiting New York City. So this whole experience was brand new for me. And this really felt more so like, let me try this out. Let me get a feel for it. And then if I come back, then I'll be more outgoing. I think the biggest thing that I would do different is I would allot time to actually go do the shows, but also be on the street and do photography, because there is just as much actions around the venues as it is inside. I think the next time I go, I definitely will put probably a few days to the side to be able to just go out and do some street photography. Personally, I love doing street photography, and New York City is that's just the place you really just want to try. That's like, to me, one of the pinnacle places that you want to go just to say, I did it. I hate that I missed on the opportunity of doing it this past time, but I'm not too mad. I just wanted to get a good feel for, just being in the city and being in this atmosphere, just moving around, just getting a good feel for it. I think the things that I worried about the most was actually just getting there. And it wasn't as bad as I thought. Personally, I know there's a lot of different ways that you can go from the airport to get to your place, and there's options that are cheaper. But me, I don't mind paying a little bit just so I don't have to worry. So I took Uber. I will tell you, they are taxing for those Ubers, man, for real. But I definitely heard that you can take like the subway all the way to to your location. The biggest problem I had with that is I didn't want to walk through the city with my luggage, and I didn't want to walk through the city with my equipment on my back. Like, I don't know about y'all's, but my camera and my equipment is expensive as hell. There's no way I'm trying to risk that at all in a new city, in a new major city. And just generally speaking, if you've never been to New York, just going to the city alone was just worth it, man. I took a day to do some touristy stuff, and me personally, because I've never been there before, the bus they have, I won't give the name again, but if you take one of those buses to do one of those tours, it's gonna be more than enough. I really got to see some really dope stuff, and I like the fact that I was able to take some time to really explore these places, And besides the bus, I also just got a chance you really can just walk and get a good feel for the city. I think the craziest thing for me, a Southern boy, is going up there. I might get home, get back to my room at an average about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, right? But you still can literally go drop your equipment off in your room and walk right back out and find some food. So I was definitely out late night trying to find some food. And of course, I have to point out to you, this was February when I went. It is cold. Like, legit, it is cold. For real. Make sure that you have a coat, and I'm talking about a thick coat, probably a pea coat. Make sure that you have your toboggan. Make sure that you have gloves, and there's insulation inside of those gloves. Period. Like, I'm telling you, and a scarf. Definitely have a scarf. So I'm definitely was glad to see the investment that I put into my coats, and just to stay warm was definitely well worth it for sure. Like, oh my God, you're not gonna survive if you don't have that. But overall, my experience was dope. I really had a good time, man. Again, I can't express to you just how big, the fashion week is dope, but the city is just really dope itself. I got a chance to get out and take some pictures of the city. Before my early stages of photography, really, I was into landscape photography the most. I love buildings. I love architecture. So that's all I really wanted to take pictures of. I didn't start taking pictures of people till later on. I just didn't have the interest in it. But oh my God, New York just had so many buildings. There was so many sites that you can see. It was just really dope. It was really dope. Like I said, if you ever get a chance, definitely check it out. Honestly, for me, I said that I would do it again, just probably no time soon. However, I just have some things that's going on around me. I've definitely been invited to come back. And I have some organizations around me that are heading in that direction. So I may be back a little sooner than later, but I know if I go back, definitely will streamline a lot of the things that I did this past time to basically get a more fuller experience if I go back. Well, that's all I got for you guys this time, man. Hey, thank y'all so much for being so patient with me. I did not mean for this episode to take so long to get out. However, there was just so many things that were going on that I just couldn't get around to it, but I'm back, baby. We're going to get back on the schedule we were. And as usual, if you guys have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, be sure to hit me in the comments. I have no problem trying to hit you guys back with a response. So until next time, y'all be easy.